fucking animals.
This is the betting zoo. It is the only place to bet with fucking animals. I am the Monoplegic Raccoon.
And I am the Kensington Eagle. What's up, everybody?
Oh, the Eagle. We thought you got lost in Kensington. You were unreachable until a moment ago.
It was a tough week for the Eagle. I don't know if you saw the picks. I was probably smoking some not great stuff and did not get my picks right. So I have been eating out of dumpsters and hanging out with the riffraff one more time.
That the dumpster part doesn't sound terrible for me, but that's how it is.
No, absolutely. Maybe if you go 0-3 and lose, some obscene amount of units, you could be somewhat discouraged at your bad betting record. I had a great week, then had a really terrible week, so that's where we're at.
That really was a terrible week. I didn't have the worst week. I went 2-1 with my zoo picks for the public, and then a total catastrophe for everything else. Our bet the farm was a loser, was an absolute waste. Let's just recap how shitty you actually did, if you don't mind.
Go ahead. You can talk about it.
Atlanta +9. What was that game again? Can you remind me about that game?
Yeah, that game was in San Francisco, and Matt Ryan proceeded to do Matt Ryan type of stuff. Got the ball down in the red zone multiple times, couldn't score touchdowns. Deebo Samuel took a shit on them. Matt Ryan again doing Matt Ryan stuff and promptly shitting the bed. That was a terrible, terrible pick in a terrible, terrible week.
And the Rams, I believe you had them.
They won, didn't they?
They did win. Did you bet the Rams? They did win. They won last night. Oh,
they
you did not go 0-3. Oh, you went 1-3.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Champion.
The Eagle's back. He's back.
The bird is back.
Get out of the dumpster.
So I had the Rams minus. Well, that line moved to 6.5. I took that. Also on a parlay with my feathered friends, the Eagles, at minus 6.5. They almost choked that game away. Miami did choke that game away.
That was your crack pipe lock of the week, I believe.
Yeah, no. That's me smoking crack. I'm out of crack now because my crack pipe lock didn't hit. It's problematic. Tua throwing a pick six at the end of the game doesn't help anybody.
That's
so they still win the game. They do not cover. And I had Mike Gesicki to score a touchdown. It just wasn't good. Wasn't a good day on the Dolphins front. Stupid rapey fish.
They're so rapey sometimes, those Dolphins. I mean,
Dolphins like it a lot. I mean, they're incorrigible when it comes to, and look, I'm not trying to make light of sexual assault, but in the animal kingdom, the Dolphins are somewhat rapey fish.
They're very rapey. They rape in packs. It's terrible.
I think that's called a gang of Dolphins.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I cross the street when I see dolphins coming. If they're coming at me on the sidewalk, I actually go to the other side of the street.
Have you experienced that in Kensington?
The dolphins there are much, much different than the dolphins anywhere else. Anything in Kensington is a little bit different. They run hard around there, man. They run hard around there. But, I'm gritty. Like the Flyers mascot, I'm gritty, and I appreciate it. But it's tough. The streets are tough, especially when the goddamn Dolphins don't cover the goddamn spread. Then it gets a lot tougher.
It's a nightmare. I had the Steelers last week +2. That was a big win. And Cincy +2.5 in Mile High, another win. And then what a giant dump the Cardinals took in Detroit. I could not believe, and I went heavy with units in that one. I for sure thought that was going to be a huge W. It was not. The books cleaned up last week. I mean, it was just an absolute nightmare.
So the week before, the books got murdered. All the favorites covered. It was rough. and then Vegas always gets its money back. Tampa Bay got shut out.
Shut
Can
out.
we talk about Tampa Bay getting shut out? Like, that's
How does that happen?
unbelievable. At home. At home,
home.
nonetheless. That was just, and yeah, who would have thought that Arizona goes to Detroit and just gets mollywopped by the hapless Lions? Like, they made Goff look like a goddamn, like Joe Montana. It was ugly, man. Kyler Murray, they might be frauds. The Cardinals might legitimately be frauds this year. I mean, they're good, but they ain't that good, man. You can't lose to the Lions in the playoff hunt.
No, you definitely can't. It's I don't understand how it's possible. I know they didn't have Hopkins there, but Murray looks like trash. I mean, I wouldn't even eat that right now. It's terrible.
He went bad. That went bad. That bird carcass went bad. Not good.
Really
Not
did.
good for anybody.
You know who was pretty good last week? The
Who's
Lusty
that?
Bison. And I think he's here. Lusty, are you here?
I'm here audibly. That's the best part.
Audibly.
Yeah. Some technical difficulties in the pasture. I'm here audibly. You're right. Cardinals never win the big game. I am the one to listen to. You're being here, everybody. The last 2 weeks, 5-0. So, maybe take a listen when I start talking.
Lusty, you sound like trash right now. Jesus. Get out of where are you? Black Hills? Any cell towers there? Where are you at? Jesus. Oh man. All right, Lusty. Thanks for that. All right, moving on. I just bumped Lusty off. So it is once again COVID week in the NFL. Mr. Eagle, can you tell us how this has affected all of the lines last week, coming up? Where are we at?
So, just as frame of reference, right? I got the Eagles minus 6.5 yesterday at around 12. I put 4 units on that game. When they declared that the starting quarterbacks for Washington was going to be out, that line actually jumped all the way to 10.5. It moved back down to 9.5 and settled there. They would have covered that, but they wouldn't have covered it if you had taken it right after the announcement, right? So who knows who's actually going? The Chiefs are all catching COVID. You had Kelsey go on the list today. Nick Sirianni, the head coach of the Eagles, got on the list today. Like, who knows what's actually going to happen? The NHL shut down. Me and the Raccoon were talking about basketball. They signed Joe Johnson, who's 40 years old, to the Boston Celtics on a 10-day contract. Joe Johnson hasn't played basketball in 3 years, I'm pretty sure. So that's where we're at in the state of sports. Hockey just like packed it up and went home. So that's pretty much where it is. So you're not playing with full decks. I mean, look, football this time of year, regardless, the injury lists are pretty long regardless.
Sure.
Right? Like it's a banged up anyway. But with the Washington football team running out a guy they signed off the practice squad a week before for a playoff implication game is kind of the state of affairs as we move forward here. I mean, the whole of Cleveland wasn't there. And I can't believe the Raiders won that game on the money line barely. So that's where we're at, right? Like, that's essentially where we're at.
No, I mean, if anybody was paying attention to that Raiders Cleveland line, it moved up and back all over the place. I mean, right before game time, it moved 7 points. It swung from -3 Cleveland to Raiders. I mean, a half hour before kickoff. If you were watching that on Sunday, you might have been able to win on both sides of that line.
No, that's crazy, right? The swings and the points is legit. Also, we make the picks on Wednesdays, and our picks have actually been moving in the right direction, right? Like, we've been getting implied value. Now, whether they hit or not is a different story, but the picks we've been making actually have been on the right side of things. Now, not necessarily for my picks, which haven't been going great, but the Rams line ended up at 6.5.
Sure did.
Or 7.
Yeah.
I think it finished at 7, and I got them at 4.5 on that
You got
Wednesday,
4.5.
right?
Yep,
So
yes, you
that's a
did.
pretty significant move, right? Like those 2.5 points on the hook is big. So, we get value where we can. It's the betting zoo. The more crack I can pick up, the better. So that's where we're at, right? The bird loves his stimulants. Need more stimulants. And if I don't win, no stimulants.
Lusty, are you back? Tell me, how are you doing over there?
That's not going too well over here, folks.
Man, is there nope. There we go. Great. Well, why don't we hop to it and go right into our picks for next week. This week coming up, brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to Prize Picks and use the promo code the Zoo to get a deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com. Promo code the Zoo.
Do it. We make you money. I'm gonna post some props that you can actually pick for Prize Picks, and I'll put them up on my Twitter. I'll also make a TikTok about it. Let's make some money. I love those long shots. If somebody submits some of them to us, I'll place the bet, and we might be able to get you some kashish on it too. So go to Prize Picks. Let's go. We make you money. Help us out. Prize Picks.
Great. Eagle. Who do you got?
Okay, the Eagle. This week. Let's see, because I need it. I like the Bills this week, plus 2.5 in New England. I'm going to also take them on the money line. I think they're the better team. Like, I legitimately think they're the better team. I think, it's a divisional game. The Pats already got one over on them. And I think the Bills, Mac Jones is still a rookie. It's going to happen. I think this is the Bills week. They're going to cover that. I'm going to take them on the money line, too.
Oof. Lusty, what do you think about that?
I like it. It's very reactionary. I think the Pats couldn't really put it together last week, but at the same time, I mean, the pedigree should be there for the Bills. It's not a bad pick. I'm on board. I'll ride it.
All right. That's the first Raccoon. You going against that or no?
I kind of do. I kind of do want to go against that, but it's hard to really. That's tough. Because I like the Bills. Back in the beginning quarter of the season, even maybe half, I thought the Bills might have been the best team in the league, and somewhere they kind of lost that. This is a really big game for them, so they kind of have to step up and win this game to be like, yeah, we're legit, right? And if they don't, then fuck them. But Patriots at home, they're playing great. I don't know. That's tough. I'm staying away from it.
All right, I'm rolling with the Bills Mafia. The Eagle break through a goddamn table. I'm going to put a few units on that. I got the Raiders money line at home versus Denver. I think Denver's a better team at home. Teddy Bridgewater, I don't know if he's out. I don't know what his status is. Kind of early, but I think he's out.
There's no way he's playing. Did you see his body?
Yeah, he got gumbied, right? So that's it. Drew Lock ain't great. They do have a legitimate running game, but the Raiders at home, I think, can pull this out. So I'll take that on the money line. Then I got my crack pipe lock of the week, and that is going to be the Chiefs -7 and the hook. I'll throw a couple units on that, and I'll probably buy half a point or a point to get it under the touchdown. I think that's definitely a 7 point. I think the Chiefs cover 7 points there, no problem.
I totally agree with you. I am also riding with Kansas City this week against Steelers, and I've been betting the Steelers the last 2 weeks in a row, but there's no way they go into Kansas City. I don't care how much COVID is out there. They are not going to beat this team. The Steelers are old and a mess, and it is going to be a bloodbath at Arrowhead.
It's not going to be good. Look,
Yeah.
the Chiefs defense came around, you know.
Yeah, they really did. They were trash. Their run defense was absolutely terrible. Chiefs defense has really turned it around. So yeah, I'm totally running with them. My other pick this week, I have absolutely no idea why the Saints are only given 3 points to the Dolphins. Am I crazy? What's going on here? I mean, I'm taking the Saints all day with that.
The Dolphins are kind of hot right now, and the Saints are kind of not.
Didn't the Saints just blank Tom Brady? Am I crazy?
Yeah, 9-0. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Miami provides a slew of different looks, while Tampa Bay has kind of a classic offense. I could see it being a crazy game. That's another stay away game for me.
I love the Dolphins here. Rapey fits!
Whoa.
Rapey fits!
Whoa. Whoa.
I like the Dolphins here. I like Gesicki. I still like Tua. There's that crazy stat. I think it's winning like at a 60 to 70% clip is teams that didn't cover to cover the next week versus a team that did cover. So New Orleans covered and the Dolphins did not. So that trend is there. I like Miami. I like Tua. And I think this is a letdown game. I think the Saints they were outclassed and won a game they nowhere should have. As Bison calls him, Tommy Titties had a terrible game, right? Chris Godwin got murdered, so that happened. But I like the Dolphins here.
Absolutely.
Fournette too. Fournette going out screwed up any rhythm they could have put together.
Yeah, I think Tampa's in trouble. I think Green Bay's looking good, and I think the Rams are looking good.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I'll tell you who doesn't look good, and that is Seattle, which is why I'm going to smoke some of the Kensington Eagles crack pipe and take the Bears plus 6.5 in Seattle. I don't know what it is. I think that this team is going to have some heart and going to fight. I liked what I saw in the second half of that game against Minnesota. They really stuck it in there, and honestly, they gave themselves a chance. So Seattle is terrible. There's going to be a whole lot of shakeup in that for that team in the offseason. Everybody's pissed off and angry, and Russell Wilson doesn't look like Russell Wilson.
Bison?
I mean, that's fine. Another game that just doesn't. It's just two losers running into each other. It's tough for me to care enough about that game to say one way or another someone's going to win because no one's consistent right now on either of those teams.
So I had the Vikings right, and I sweated that game out because the Bears were in the red zone like six times. Yeah. Turned it over on downs 3 times. Oh, and then they scored a touchdown on the last play of the game and didn't kick the goddamn extra point, which gave me the win, right? Yeah. But the Bears played hard that whole game. I don't think they've given up, and I feel like Seattle's kind of done for the year. So I actually like that pick a lot. I like the Bears. 6.5 is a ton of points against the Seattle team that hasn't been playing well.
Well, Lusty, who you got?
All right, so I know the format of the show is typically we give 3 picks for you to ride. There's typically one lock that we say is brought to you by our wonderful, wonderful people at Prize Picks. Promo code the zoo, all one word. But COVID changed a couple things. There's no way to know what's going to happen and who's going to play and who's not going to play. And I think when your Wi-Fi goes down, you have to hardwire it a little bit. What I mean by that is you go by some best practice. And there's one best practice that served me well for quite some time. And what I mean by that is that if the Jets are giving a team points, you take those points and you run. I'm going to say Jacksonville plus 2.5 points against the Jets. I don't really care who gets COVID on either side. I just think that's the right call, and I would beat myself up if I didn't take it. What are you two idiots going to say to that? There's nothing you can say to that.
I mean, Jets suck. Jacksonville sucks. Urban Meyer's gone. They're going to start running the ball. I like Jacksonville. I do. I mean, Jets suck. I mean, what do you want?
Yeah, James Robinson's the man.
Yeah,
I can't argue this. Trevor Lawrence got a life-saving device with Meyer getting thrown out of there. James Robinson is legit. Bison, you are correct. The Jets are just a fucking dumpster fire of awful. I'll fade them all day, every day, right? Like, and your point is super valid. Like, if you ever see the Jets actually getting points or giving points, excuse me, you take those points and you run with them to the bank, because there's no way they should be favored in a football game with any kind of American money on the line. No chance.
Yeah, I mean, similarly, while you guys are talking about Tampa Bay looking bad and the Rams taking over as favorites for the Super Bowl, and maybe the Chiefs and maybe the Packers are up there, I am licking my lips for Tom Brady to be an underdog in these playoffs. It's free money at these points. But yeah. Anyway, similar thought, similar line of thinking for betting against the Jets giving points right now. And that's your land of milk and honey lock of the week. 5-0 last 2 weeks, everybody.
Ooh.
I'm going to ride with the Bison.
I mean, hey, if he's only going with one, might as well ride. Speaking of riding, let's ride to
90 units. Put 90 units on that.
90 units. Whoa. Sounds great. Let's go.
That's 14.
How about to bet the farm? Bet the farm. Bet the farm.
Where's the goddamn music?
It's right there. That's it. That's all you got. All right, great. Fantastic. So, Bet the Farm this week again, brought to you by Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com. Use promo code THEZOO, all one word. Eagle, we talked. You listened. Bison's here. Where do we land?
Let's go Bolts!
Yeah,
Chargers, baby. Chargers.
The Chargers bolt up, man. Houston sucks. They won a game last week. That's crazy. They shouldn't win professional football games. The Chargers are actually, they're getting there. They're not super legit yet, but they're definitely getting there. I love Herbert. I love Eckler. They're a good team. Keenan Allen's a good squad. Their defense is questionable, but Houston sucks. They suck. And the Chargers are going to mollywop the Texans. They're terrible. And I like the Chargers. So that's what we landed on, because I think the Texans actually won a football game. They're probably pinching themselves and are a bit beside, the fact that they actually won something, which is the worst game they could have won going into trying to get draft pick position, right? That's the one game you want to lose.
Oh, yeah.
And then Detroit beats Arizona, and, Houston's going to come out and just lay an egg. No pun intended, because I'm a big cracked out bird. But I like the Bolts bolt up, and I'm pretty sure Raccoon and Bison do as well.
No, yeah, I'm laying 9.5 all day. I'd lay fucking 14 on this one. I mean, Houston has absolutely no shot. Chargers are something to play for, and they're going to come in there and just absolutely stomp the Texans, bar none. Bet the farm.
Bet the farm.
Yeah, just some other ancillary stats. So, in most leagues right now in fantasy, Justin Herbert is the top point scorer for the entire league. And Houston's defense on the air side is, I believe, 21st in the league. So you're going to see that pay some dividends in this game, as well as Austin Eckler facing the 27th ranked defense in Houston, which is also going to pay off in the end. So, yeah, I don't think there's much of a contest right here. You bet that beautiful haired young stud Jester.
Get the stud, bet him. That's it. That's the deal.
It's the betting zoo, the only place to bet with fucking animals.